Next game, we got OU at Tennessee. In all complete honesty, I did not see Oklahoma winning this game. I just didn't feel like offensively they could do it.
I didn't think they could do it either, but they got some help in the first half, with some points, and then took advantage in the second half. It kind of reminded me of the first half reminded me of what we saw from LSU, Texas A&M, except Oklahoma was able to capitalize off of that and keep that momentum going, and LSU was not.
Well, I think what was interesting to me is that Oklahoma actually took their points in this game. At the first, like they kept getting these big stops and turnovers, and I would just keep seeing them kick field goals. It was 7-10, then it's 10-10, then it's 13-10, and then it's 16-10. I'm like, if they had turned these into touchdowns, it's probably a blowout already. Sure enough, they find a couple touchdowns late, and Tennessee really struggled with interceptions in this game, protecting the quarterback. They had that big strip sack return for a touchdown.
Mhm.
So that's three big turnovers. And I think Oklahoma had one interception, maybe. So they didn't really turn the ball over in this game, which probably is what ended up winning the whole game for them. They took care of the ball for the most part, and they took their points. Tennessee is usually going to be a little bit more gutsy on fourth downs, and they really did not run the ball well in this game, which is a key staple to their game. When they don't run the ball well, they could throw for 400 and still lose, which is what they did. I think they had like 1.5 yards per carry in this game, which you don't typically see that out of a Tennessee offense. So I was very shocked, but given the fact that Oklahoma is one of the best defenses in the country, this shouldn't surprise many people. I think Tennessee outgained Oklahoma in this game, but they did not do very well on running the ball in this game. Third down wasn't terrible. So I would say that the biggest factors in this game were the run game and turnovers for Tennessee. They usually don't really protect the ball that well throwing it, so you'll see Joey Aguilar toss a couple picks, but they usually run the ball just well enough to stay in every game. Oklahoma kind of handled this game in the second half because they stopped the run and got turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, OU held Tennessee to 60 yards on the ground, and they themselves had 190,
Yeah,
which,
Oklahoma
I
has
mean,
struggled on the run.
I would not have thought that was possible a few weeks ago, but Oklahoma's found a way to run the ball finally.
Yeah, I think that the emergence of their new running back has been a real ignite for the offense. Like not having a real number one back usually kind of sets you on the eight ball as far as what do we do on first down. If you don't have a guy you can trust to get at least 3 or 4 yards on first down most of the time, then that changes the way you call plays. So not having to overly rely on John Mateer and be able to actually hand the ball off, that's huge. And so Oklahoma now can do that. They give every single team that they play against a schematical struggle as far as what do we do on first down defensively. So, which most good teams can do that, and that's why it's hard to play against good teams because they can get yards on first down. But Oklahoma hadn't been able to do that until now. That changes this team moving forward for me. I picked Tennessee to win this game. I just thought that they'd be able to be the team that ran the ball better. So Oklahoma's defense shows up big on the road. They get a huge statement win here. Tennessee falls to is it 5-3 or six
Six,
and
six
three?
and three. Yeah.
So 6-3, no ranked wins. Biggest win is on the road at Mississippi State in double overtime. They dropped that one. They're sitting at 5-4. So I I'm kind of disappointed in Tennessee right now. I figured that they'd be able to hang on down the stretch, but defensively, that's probably where they've had the biggest letdown from last year. That's kind of what we thought we would see out of Ole Miss is their defense would be so bad, which hasn't been that great. It's just opportunistic, but we thought they would be so bad defensively that it doesn't matter how good they're on offense. They're going to lose big games. Well, that's how Tennessee's been this year. And they may still finish decent, but they're going to need to probably end up beating Vanderbilt if they want to even have an outside shot at being a three-loss team getting in, but they don't have enough good wins. So I don't see them being able to sneak in. I think this eliminates them from playoff contention. And unfortunately, Joey Aguilar's really awesome season has been riddled with big interceptions and turnovers. So that was something we hit on in the preseason is how much he turns the ball over. It doesn't matter if you throw for 400 yards a game if you can't
Yeah.
keep the ball safe.
Speaking of the preseason, we're kind of seeing Tennessee shape up to be the team we thought they were going to be before the season. We had them about around 8-4.
I had them at 7-5.
You had them at 7-5.
Yeah, and they're already six and
I
three.
might have had them at 7-5. I can check on that real fast for us.
But I think they'll probably end up having a chance to even beat Vanderbilt at the end of the season. That game will be really close. Even if they drop that game, they'll probably finish with 3 or 4 losses. So they would lose 4 games in that scenario. But I don't see them losing 5 games.
I had them 8-4, 4-4. So if they lose one more conference game, then we get that.
Who do they have coming up?
New Mexico State this week, and then in the swamp, and then Vanderbilt at home.
I could see them dropping those last two to be 7-5. Real chance. But Tennessee, a little bit of a disappointment so far. No big wins. So I think we ended up both dropping them out of our top 25 this week.
Yeah.
Granted, no SEC bias. Everybody's claiming
It's
that Tennessee was ranked too high because they didn't have any big wins. They already had 2 losses. Well, now that they've lost 3 games, I think it's time to finally drop them out.
I mean, their
So,
second best win is at Kentucky. Like,
yeah, that's
eh,
not really a strong win. So, that game was fun. I think this was a really good game. I think that OU needed this one extremely bad if they wanted to keep their playoff hopes alive, and they were able to do that. John Mateer didn't even play his best football in this game, which is back-to-back weeks that he's not played very strong. I think we're looking at a different kind of player right now. Not because just schematically there's any issue. I think physically he's not 100%.
no.
So down the stretch, be watching out for that. I think that's going to be the catalyst in some of these big games for them down the road. 'Cause they got a couple big ones left. They still got Alabama.
Yep, that's
That'll be
right.
really interesting. So look forward to watching that.